Hey everyone, and welcome back to my Revel channel. We're gonna rev about Real Housewives of Potomac season 7 episode 17, a not so great grand finale. Yeah, I put my own words in there. It's titled a grand finale, but I felt like it was missing some things. Y'all remember how reunion episodes used to hit the nail on the head and then it would roll right into the reunion where it was like explosive and so much going on? I felt like some things were all over the place. We did get some things that kind of tied in a bit. I had to do research on some things, but I feel like I got my explanations. Remember that Super Bowl weekend is next week. The reunion, when I air, it will air on February 19th. But because of the off week, I do plan to make some sort of a content that's going to fit the month of February. But be on the lookout for that because I am trying to flush out those ideas. And then when it comes to the reunion, when it does come back, remember that I am still going to follow the same traditions that I have done for my previous season recaps. So we're going to talk about the reunion. We're going to talk about the season, what was missed, what could have been better, some fashions, accomplishments, and different little things like that. So be on the lookout for that big video that's going to be coming at the end of like the 2 or 3 part reunion. Let's go ahead and get into it because the episode opens back up with Ashley and her son Dean having a mommy-son dinner. Then we see her tell him that, you know, the home that we went to visit, it's ours now. You get your own room. Dean is smiling. A great moment. So congratulations on a new home, Ashley. But we see her FaceTime her mom, and during this conversation, her mom's facials is my facials, and I know it was probably y'all facials because Ashley was saying some things that had me like, really, girl? So while on a call with her mom, we see her tell her that Dean is having a fit because he want to be around Michael.
Hearing Dean call out for his dad, it's sort of heightening a fear that I already have about Dean and Dylan blaming me or being upset with me once they learn I'm the one who decided to leave and break up with the family. But for the most part, I feel like I'm making the right decision.
I understand this, but social media is something that's not going anywhere. So all the sons will have to do is click on it and they're going to understand why you left. So I think Ashley is going to be fine. And then she lets her mom know that when it comes to the house, Michael handled everything through the LLC. And her mom's facial is where this comes into play because I was like, Ashley, you're just not, you know what? Listen to her confessional.
At face value, to buy a property with someone who I'm divorcing, yes, that does sound counterintuitive.
So you know it's dumb. You know it's dumb. And you clearly are not going to take heed to what everyone has been telling you. I mean, the OGs have told you, the attorney, your mom, the viewers, us, we have told you. And on top of that, you have Uncle Lump telling you that it makes no sense. And speaking of Uncle Lump, y'all showed us during like the mid-season promo that he was telling her how it didn't make any sense. And Ashley was like tearing up or something like that. What happened to those clips? Y'all do this a lot with other franchises where y'all show something and then we don't get it, like production. Like, I'm talking to you.
We need to figure this out.
Like, we really need to figure something out. Then production asked her,
splitting the mortgage, who pays what?
Honestly, Michael and I, we haven't quite delved into how it will break up, paying the mortgage. Because we are still married and buying this home, we are 50-50 owners. My mortgage is $13,000 a month, and I'm like, that's a lot for me by myself.
Girl, he's gonna own it. He's gonna keep it. And he's going to use that to control you the same way he has been using everything else around you for the past 7 seasons. What makes you think it's going to be different? We've seen it through you going through this prenup stuff and how that didn't work out in your favor. This isn't Michael's first rodeo. He's not stupid. It's like really hard to root for Ashley because you want to see her win. But with her, the stupidity, and then the fake divorce thing. And yes, I'm going to call it a fake divorce at this point because everything she has said has showed us that she is really not trying to lead this man. Please get off our screens with this. Karen is discussing her candle business with her publicist before she calls Mia. They discuss Karen being the topic of discussion at the bachelorette party. Mia runs down everything that was said while excluding the joke that she made that is going to come back up later in the episode. Karen asks, well, you didn't defend me? Mia says no. Maybe she should have. Karen feels like she would have defended her if the shoe was on the other foot. Mia's a pick-me. She's not going to defend you, Karen. she's quick to throw anybody under the bus just to get into the close friendship of Gizelle and Robyn. Later on in the episode, we see Karen call Wendy, and I'm gonna bring this up right now, even though it is later, because it kind of correlates to the same thing. But Karen tells Wendy that, you know, she doesn't want to go into details, but she heard the women made some statements about her that was very disgusting. She also says that Mia did not stand up for her, and she's not sure if they can recover from it. And Wendy came through with a word, and it was something that was different that I've never heard of.
In the words of Dr. Martin Luther King, sometimes it's not the voice of our enemies, but the silence of our friends.
But then we see Robyn in this hat business and Embellish. Is the business called Embellish? Yeah, Embellish, I believe. We see her looking at the hats and everything before her parents get there. And side note, why is this the first time we're seeing this? Why is this the first time we're seeing her doing anything with Embellish all season? And maybe it did. Maybe they did show it. But honestly, I'm like Eva right now.
I don't recall meeting you before.
I know I'm not the only one that love to see the women show their businesses and their progress and not just all the negative stuff all the time. So I wish we would definitely see more of that. And I know a lot of times they do the little subliminal stuff in there, and then like we have to be the detective trying to figure out like, oh, this is what this business or this image was about. Like we seen that in Dubai when they was talking about the fruitcake company, and we was like, oh, the fruitcake company related to Nina. I never knew that. So I feel like they got to do a little better when it comes to that. But she shows her parents her home, and early in the season I told y'all Robyn may be a lot of things, but her home is gorgeous. The mirrors that is arranged at the entrance, like those 6 mirrors, are really nice. Decorative wall looks really good. Then we see her and her parents discuss the kids, how they're growing. She tells them that they're going to Jamaica for Juan's brother's ceremony, and they plan to get married right afterwards. And her mom is looking like, who going to Jamaica? When? Why aren't y'all telling us? Why aren't we invited? She was asking all the stuff that everybody throughout the season was asking her. Robyn says if they open it up to them, then they feel like they got to start opening it up to more people. We know how that is. When you invite one, you be like, I might as well invite somebody else or whatever. Her mom says she's not here for it, but she hears her. You know, she understands. I'm going to add this in here now. We know that they didn't get married in Jamaica. They got married 2 months after Candace's event that we're going to see later on in this episode. The photographs and the video from Robyn's wedding was not filmed by production, from my understanding. I do wonder what Bravo has to say about that, because we know how they treated Kenya when she didn't show her wedding or so forth. But the wedding looked really good, to say it was something small. The mirrored aisle is what I was looking at when I was trying to plan everything for my wedding at one point, and I can say she did really good with the decoration. Watch what happens live. I want to go ahead and talk about this now. It aired right after the episode, and Robyn, you should have made him sign that cheating clause, because ma'am, you spent the last 7 seasons saying why you didn't want to marry him right away because of da-da-da-da-da and what happened in the past, and then you went ahead, did it anyway, and you did not get him to sign that. Like, at this point, I know a lot of people are like relishing in everything that's going on with her. Don't get me wrong, Robyn does some clown stuff, but I don't wish this on nobody. Like, the stuff that she's going through is very sad. Another thing, her explanations for why she did what she did was bogus. She was stuttering, she was turning red, and she knew it did not make any sense. Andy tried to hold her to the fire, and honestly, this is the first time I think he has done that in a long time, and I was actually here for it. It was a little refreshing for that, because we haven't seen this type of Andy in a long time. Especially, I don't watch some of the other Housewife shows, and with Atlanta and Dubai, he almost seemed like he didn't want to be there. This was the first time I've seen him really like be into it in a very long time, and I was here for it. I hope this is the Andy we're going to get at the reunion, because there's some stuff we really need to talk about, because Potomac was doing a little too much. Like, I was here for some stuff in the beginning, and then it just went all kinds of ways or whatever. I was not paying any money to see her discuss what she should have discussed while the season was going on. Hear me out. I believe that you have the right to show what you want to show. But do you really think I'm about to pay? And I appreciate the people who did pay to go listen to her Patreon, because that's how I got the content and heard everything. But you really think I'm going to sit there and pay for that when I'm paying for Sling and other stuff for you to do what you should have done when you were on the show? You have the right to withhold it. But ma'am, don't make it seem like Karen and others need to stand on their stuff and reveal different things, and you aren't going to do the same. Also, if the woman was dating a Baltimore Ravens player, I doubt I doubt she would have called Juan to come and put the money down on a room. Robyn, make that make sense. Why did you get on our TV screen and say that?
Jerome, they must have changed my name to Boo Boo the Fool down there on this thing.
Everything about that Watch What Happens Live thing was just bogus, and it aggravated me, and it's aggravating me even more to know that she's going to get another special right after the 2 or 3 part reunion. Like, girl, no man is putting money on a hotel room for a woman that he's not seen. You said it wasn't a part of your storyline, but you said you were waiting on the women to bring it up. Sound like you wanted it to be a part of your storyline. You were just waiting for somebody else to do the dirty work so that you wouldn't, I don't know, does Juan have problems with you saying what y'all went through or whatever? Is that why you were waiting on the other women to say it? Like, I'm trying to figure some things out. It's a lot of things that had me like,
if 2 + 2 is 4, right? And 5 + 5 is 10, okay.
Mia and Gordon, they go to visit her dermatologist. She lets us know that the doctor ruled out lymphoma and leukemia, so that's great news. Her doctor also says that it could possibly be, and I don't know how to pronounce this right. I done heard the video, I done watched it over, I remembered it, and then I'm sitting here talking to y'all and I can't recall. So I'm gonna just enter the clip here.
The results is sarcoidosis.
I looked it up and I know Mia can be a liar. In my first review for this season, I did mention how I don't think she would lie about her health. That's something that's very serious and I don't think she would play with that. But if she did, I did say that if she lied, that's a different type of illness because you'd be sick for real. That's between you and the Lord. But with this word here, I looked it up and it basically says that this is a disease characterized by the growth of tiny collections of inflammatory cells in any part of your body, most commonly for the lungs and lymph nodes. But it can also affect the eyes, the skin, the heart, the organs. Some of the causes is unknown, but experts think the results from the body immune system responded to an unknown substance. There's no cure for it, but most people do very well with no treatment or only modest treatment in some cases and so forth. This matches up with what the doctor said. We know that she has to get the x-rays to determine that. That's the only way to know if that's what it really is. Side effects are internal or external. External being like rashes, like the doctor said, or internal being chest pain and other things like that. So Mia did not lie about that. I'm glad she is taking care of that though. Then we see Gizelle and her daughters. They're going to talk about her health while they're going to get ice cream. Before they get into that though, she tells them that her and Steve went on a date. The girls aren't impressed, just like we aren't, because listen, Gizelle is using different little things now to try to have storylines, and she does this a lot when it comes to different people on this show. She asked them, well, I thought y'all liked Steve, and their expressions are timeless because they're like, we do, but it doesn't need any commentary. Like, the girls are funny. Gizelle's confessional, she tried to soften the blow a little bit.
You know, my girls know that I'm concentrating and focusing right now on them. They know I'm not trying to get serious with anybody. They're not gonna put all their eggs in Steve's basket.
They don't care. They don't care. They know it's not real. They know it won't last. Just like the relationship with you and whoever is on that house show that they're talking about at the reunion or whatever. I don't watch that show. I don't know what it is. But I feel like that's not real either. But then Gizelle changes the subject and she lets them know that she has to have surgery to remove her fibroids that have like doubled in size over the years. This is something very serious in the Black community for us women. But one of the twins made me laugh because she said,
Wall? Huh? How do you pee? How do I pee?
Yeah.
Okay, stop.
Okay,
It has nothing to do with me.
It clicked afterwards for her though. It clicked afterwards. It was cute. It was funny. They asked her about her health problems and possible problems that can arise from it. Gizelle says she hopes it's not anything as serious. Grace says she won't have to go through menopause. They get into the discussion on the reproductive parts, and it was funny to watch because Gizelle basically comes to the conclusion that the school isn't teaching them everything that they need to know about certain stuff. And honestly, you got to do the research for yourself because the schools is only going to teach you so much. Finally, we have Candace's event where everything is just full of foolishness and it seemed very unnecessary. You can tell it was strategically done and not in a good way. We see Gizelle make it and she walks past Chris. They speak, but in their confessionals, they said,
I'm not mad at Chris. I think that night in particular, he had poor judgment and he did something that I didn't like. And that means that we just need to have a conversation about it and move on.
You know, sometimes an apology to just squash it and move on is a good thing. I just feel this is a situation that I stand by the fact that I did absolutely nothing wrong. So I don't need to see her or speak to her ever again.
We all know the lengths Gizelle will go, so normally I'd say yes, apologize, but we saw in real time how she will take a kind gesture, flip it to fit whatever narrative she wants, and it can be dangerous, so I wouldn't apologize either. Candace is ecstatic when she makes her entrance. She greets everyone. She asks her manager, what do I do? Is there an announcement or is there something that needs to be done? You know, let her know. Let them know that I am here. So, you know, he gets on it. He lets everybody know that she has arrived. Everybody else makes it. Except for Robyn, she'll join them a little later on in the episode. Charisse and Gizelle spot Karen across the way. Charisse says what Candace would call the black proverbs.
Here's your friend. Who? Karen?
It was a little funny, and we've seen this a lot, and it can fit a lot of different scenarios. We all know somebody that does that. Ashley makes it, and she talks to Wendy, and she lets her know immediately what was discussed about her at Robyn's bachelorette party. She tells her that Mia basically wants her cookies, with Wendy revealing to her that no, Mia wants mine. And she goes over all the things that Mia has said. The women is laughing. Mia is there as well while they're talking about this, but they're all laughing. And Ashley recalls that, yes, Mia did say that. So I told y'all in my last review, it was the other way around. So Mia, you just lying. Different people give speeches about how they're proud of Candace. Candace gives her speech. She cries. She thanks everybody for supporting her, her parents for encouraging her to be whatever she wants to be. And she thanks Chris with both of them crying. And it was a beautiful moment. The way they support each other, the way he supports her career. We see the visuals for the video, and listen, I told y'all I like the song, but I didn't think it had replay value for me. But after seeing little clips of the video, it makes me want to go watch it. You know, videos can if the video does what it's supposed to do, it'll make you want to go back and listen to it. And so it may have the replay value I thought it didn't have at first. Mia jokes and brings up the video is much better than the parking lot video, and Mia sounds like a hater. And I only say that because it's the way she said it. But listen, the first video to now, it shows progress. Everybody got to start somewhere. Also, this scene reminds me of a cohesive storyline. Like, we watched the different stages of her doing what she needed to do to get where she is today. I enjoyed seeing that. The women give their thoughts on her music video.
I love Candace's visuals. I think her music video is so good.
I mean, the budget is no longer low, honey. The budget is high.
Look at her. She's doing a damn thing. I'm really proud of Candace.
Do you like the song?
I don't even remember it. Was it good? I can't remember. Listen, I wish Candace and her music career the best.
Robyn makes it. This is where everything goes left, though. We see Karen and Gizelle talking about what Mia said, with Gizelle asking Karen if Mia told her about her calling her a prostitute. Karen was looking confused, but I told y'all last week, Mia said that at that moment, it was clear it was a joke. One she may not like, but it was a joke, and it showed how the women will dangerously twist different things and then bring it back to others. We've seen it in real time. Gizelle admits that she only brought this up to be messy. So yeah, Jizzy, we know that because clearly you have nothing else going on. That's what you do. Then Mia gets confronted. Mia says don't blame her. Blame Charisse. Karen says she never had to sell her lady parts. Ashley says this information is coming from somebody that is a mutual friend of Karen's. Karen says she doesn't have to respond, with Ashley saying
Karen's doing something. She's just not doing a good job of hiding it. Dispel it, put it to rest, or just own up to it and say, yeah, Ray and I have an open relationship. Like, just give us one or the other.
Ashley, are you going to tell us about this fake divorce and why you're faking it? Are you going to tell us why you allowed Michael to buy the home for you in the LLC after everybody done told you how stupid it sounds? Are you going to explain why you got in those confessionals and said all those crazy things when it comes to this storyline? Karen says she doesn't feel like defending herself tonight, with Charisse walking up, asking if she has something to say to her. Karen responds in a way only the Grand Dame can.
While you're breathing in my airspace, I don't even know why you're here. I have not lied about anything I've said, okay? That's the first thing. Okay, first of all, I hear you, but I'm not listening, so we're done. Okay,
There was more back and forth. She grabs Ray to leave. Mia going after Karen before she leaves, and she pulls her to the side to talk. Ray doesn't want any parts of it, but they're talking while the others are doing what they do. Mia tells her that there's more to it, and she tells her that the owner of the restaurant, whatever the restaurant name is, they bleeped it out, says that Karen was dating his best friend and they went to Vegas and did some things. Karen says, I hear you, but I'm not listening. Mia says, well, I want you to really hear it because it's not just Charisse saying it. Mia, go sit down. Why didn't you tell your friend when you first heard about it? a year or two ago. See, Gizelle says she thought she would have talked to Chris by now. Candace lets her know that Chris isn't gonna have this conversation today. Here's the thing. Not only did she just say this right here, but Gizelle, not that long afterwards, asks again. Correct me if I'm wrong, but Chris said he wanted to speak to me, right? And girl, this is where y'all be doing too much. They say yes, and Ashley says she wants to clear the air, but Robyn was the only one sitting there at that moment saying, it's probably not important to him to talk to y'all right now. Candace comes back. She says, y'all made Karen leave. She makes a Karen, and they put the little flower on the thing. And she thanks everybody for coming out to support her, even though some of them are on BS. The women celebrate, and then Ashley starts back up. Ashley asks her about having a conversation with Chris, and Candace repeats again. So this is like the second or third time or whatever. She repeats again that he doesn't want to have that conversation today. The day is about her. He doesn't want everything to basically go left. Ashley says, who said she'll be hostile? Girl, y'all are making wild allegations. Y'all saying different stuff. Everything can easily go left. They discuss Deborah, and then we see her go to Chris anyway after she just said he doesn't want to have this conversation.
Chris, you know, when you said those things about me on Twitter, I took it as you threatening me, that I would be sorry.
If my tweet upset you, obviously I was upset because someone is telling me that I grabbed another woman.
But even the flirting part is egregious.
And to sit here and suggest that I would do something inappropriate in the moment is up, disrespectful, and I don't with it, and I'm sorry. And so I was mad, and I tweeted that, and yes, if you were gonna lie on me, you will be sorry, because I will do something about it. I'm not gonna just sit here and be like, oh yeah, say whatever the you want, because now I'm angry, and now you got me cussing at you, and I apologize because I don't want to do that, but I'm angry.
Ashley said some of the things he did are questionable. He storms out. Ashley, why you keep doing the most? You're just tasteless at this moment. You look crazy. Wendy basically says, you knew that wasn't going to go well, so why you even went over there? Candace lets her husband know that you can't win with them. You can't battle with unhappy people. I was like, girl, ain't that the truth? Misery loves company. We all know that old saying, and they are the epitome of that. We get the closing statements about the women, and that was the episode. Hopefully y'all found this entertaining, because it really wasn't that much going on. It was just some people still doing the most. Some closing things that helped us understand some stuff a little more. But I will see y'all really soon. And if you haven't, I just dropped my fashion review for the Grammys. Go ahead and check that out. And I'll see y'all next time.